Hello, this is Tim May from the Columbus Dispatch outside the Woody Hayes Athletic Center, where the big news of the day is Urban Meyer, after 7 years as the head football coach at Ohio State, will be stepping down, retiring after the Rose Bowl against Washington on January 1st, 2019. The follow-up news to that is the new era, which kind of got an abbreviated start at the beginning of the year. Ryan Day will be stepping up as the head coach of Ohio State. Obviously, he went 3-0 at the beginning of this year while Urban Meyer was suspended due to some things that went down during the summer, an investigation into a few things. But the bottom line is Urban Meyer, who's been dealing with an arachnoidal cyst in his skull since it was first diagnosed in 1998, it came back to really bite him in the middle of this season after he returned to the sideline with the Buckeyes, and he was kind of laying hints the last several weeks that this could in fact be his final season as the Ohio State head coach. Now it has come to fruition. With that said, Ryan Day, who went 3-0 as I said a while ago as a head coach, he's 39 years old. He'll be stepping up his first full-time head coaching job. He's been around the country both as an assistant coach in college and in the National Football League. He's instrumental in a lot of what you saw this year from the Ohio State passing offense with Dwayne Haskins Jr., who set buku records, including the Big Ten record for passing yardage. I think it's 4,580 and 47 touchdown passes. That was a big result from what Ryan Day has brought to the program. And, of course, Dwayne Haskins Jr. was named earlier this week as one of 3 finalists for the 2018 Heisman Trophy. He'll be there on Saturday night in New York City, and I'm sure Urban Meyer will be there at his side. Urban Meyer is going out on a what you'd call a high. We'll see if, in fact, he wraps it up with a win, but he came in winning at Ohio State, going 24-0 in his first 24 games with the Buckeyes before losing in the Big Ten championship game to Michigan State in 2013. With that said, he's 82-9 at Ohio State with 3 Big Ten championships. And, of course, the 2014 College Football Playoff Championship, the first college football playoff. And no one will ever forget that remarkable 3-game run by the Buckeyes to win that title when quarterback J.T. Barrett went down and Cardell Jones stepped up, and it was one of the great 3-game runs in college football history. They've kind of done the same thing here to finish off the 2018 regular season, falling to Purdue 49-20, a loss that ultimately cost Ohio State a spot in the college football playoff this year. But they wrapped up by running off several wins, including a 62-39 victory over Michigan, unprecedented scoring-wise against their rival, and then followed it up by beating Northwestern on this past Saturday night in Indianapolis for the Big Ten championship, 45-24. As I said a while ago, Urban Meyer is 82-9 as the Ohio State head coach. He won 2 national championships at Florida before he arrived at Ohio State. Of course, Ohio State fans remember his first one, 2006, when he beat the #1 ranked Buckeyes, who had just won the game of the century a month before beating Michigan. They stepped up in Florida, thumped the Buckeyes 41-14, and that is really what put Urban Meyer on the map. He's an Ashtabula, Ohio. Well, he was born in Toledo, but he grew up in Ashtabula, Ohio. He's an Ohio native with one of the great winning percentages all time in college football. The actual numbers escape me, but it's something like 182-39, right up there from a percentage-wise with Newt Rockne and Frank Leahy and some of the greats of the game. With that said, the situation with Ryan Day stepping in as the new head coach is interesting because, as I said before, he's never been a full-time head coach before, but who could pass up a job like this? And I think what Ohio State is looking for more than anything else is continuity in the program. It'll be interesting to see by elevating a coach. Now you don't go through a big-time rigmarole search nationwide, et cetera, whether the continuity includes maintaining Mickey Marotti as the football performance coordinator for the Buckeyes. He is considered to maybe to perhaps be the best in the country at that. Mark Pantoni, their recruiting coordinator, is considered among the elite, maybe the best at that, and a pretty stout coaching staff, not the least of which is Kevin Wilson, the other offensive coordinator, along with Ryan Day, defensive coordinator Greg Schiano, a former head coach at Rutgers and then of Tampa Bay of the NFL, and so we'll see how the continuity of the staff goes. But quite a development here at Ohio State this morning. I think a lot of people saw this coming. Yours truly saw it coming, one way or the other over the next maybe several weeks or months, or maybe Urban Meyer could have eked out another year. But I think basically his quality of life is what he's looking at now more than anything else. His legacy is in cement. I mean, whether he, gets a statue here one of these days remains to be seen, like the man behind me, Woody Hayes. But there's no doubt the impact he has had on this program. He has made it one of the top 2 or 3 programs in the country. I don't think anyone would argue with that. Right there with Nick Saban at Alabama, perhaps Dabo Swinney at Clemson, and maybe throw in Brian Kelly to a certain extent at Notre Dame. But what Brian Kelly's done at Notre Dame pales in comparison to what Urban Meyer has done here over the last 7 seasons. Interestingly, 7 seasons was his longest stint as a head coach. He was 2 years at Bowling Green, where he's an immediate smash hit back in 01 and 02. Went to Utah in 03 and 04, was an immediate smash hit there. In my opinion, he had one of the top 2 teams in the country in 04. Didn't get a chance to play for the national championship because Utah at that point was not in the Pac-12. But then he goes immediately to Florida and turns that program around, and like I said, won national championships in 2006 and 2008, and that included Tim Tebow, a quarterback, winning the Heisman Trophy in 2009 or 2007. So the Urban Meyer legacy is intact. Now it's up to Ryan Day to step into those huge shoes and keep on walking. We'll be back later today with more developments from here at the Woody Hayes Athletic Center and reactions from across the state and around the country. But until then, this is Tim May from the Columbus Dispatch. Thank you.